Alright, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? It's Rusher, and welcome back to the channel. Today, as you can see, we got this here tier list with 6 different tiers and an unranked tier. And what is this tier list for? Well, if I scroll down, as you can see, we got every single map in Pixel Strike 3D. And the version we're going to be basing this off of is the version we have now, 9.2.0. It is January 15th, 2022. So if this game gets updated and there's a new map, right, which there will be in the future, I'm just letting you know that this tier list will be based off the version that we have now, 9.2.0. So if you watch it when 10.0 comes out and there's 3 new maps or something, you'll know exactly why those maps aren't on this list, basically. But anyways, with that said, let's go over the tiers real quick. Now we got 7 of these. We got S, which is the GOAT tier, which are the best maps in the game, in my opinion. A, which are great maps. B, for good maps. C, for decent maps. D, for meh maps. And E, for garbage ass, trash ass maps, which will be, the worst maps in the game. And then we have the unranked tier, which is basically maps that I've not once played, so I can't give an opinion on them, if there are any here. So we got 29 of these things. 29 maps in Pixel Strike 3D to pick from. I'm not sure if I'm missing any. If I am, do feel free to let me know in the comment section. But this is what we're going to be basing things off of for now. Now then, with that being said, let's get started here. The first map on this list is actually Warehouse. I think Warehouse is actually a really good map. I think it's great even. So we're going to put it at the high tiers, A class. Great. I feel like Warehouse has some weird flow for free-for-all. But at least in Team Deathmatch, it flows really good. The spawns aren't disgusting at all. It plays really good in Team Deathmatch and free-for-all, however, it could play better. But it doesn't play that terrible to, anchor it down to any of the lower tiers. So, in my opinion, it's a high tier map. It's a great map to play. Strike, on the other hand, is going to be in a low tier area because, I don't know, the map is dark, it's big. Strike was almost DOA upon release. I mean, it's a good infected map, don't get me wrong, but for pretty much anything else, it sucks. It's big, it's dark, and those two things never usually mix in first-person shooters. You know what I mean? So that's sort of the problem with this map. Moving on, we got Paintball Arena, which I'm actually going to throw in the S tier. I really like this map. You thought I was going to put it in the trash, didn't you? No, hell no. This map is great. Great flow, great spawns. I love how the gunplay works. Well, not really the gunplay. I like how this map plays. It feels very good to play. I feel like you could do pretty much anything you want on this map. You could rush, flank, lay back and snipe. You can't really camp though, because you can get flanked and get taken out really easily on this map. So it keeps the pace going. This map encourages players to keep the pace going, because if you camp and someone finds you camping, you're probably going to get bomb rushed. So that's just my 2 cents with this map. And oh god. Oh, my bad. I didn't... Oh. What is... Okay. Alright, I got it fixed now. Don't worry guys, I got it fixed. Okay. I got it fixed. We're good. I don't know why it was like that, but... whatever. But yeah, Paintball Arena is in the S tier. Now that we got this fixed, let's move on to Frozen Caves. Frozen Caves, I think it's a good map. I don't think it's great, but it flows pretty good, even in free-for-all, although the spawns are kind of ass. Team Deathmatch is pretty good. That's all I really have to say about Frozen Caves, really. I kind of enjoy Frozen Caves. It's not that bad of a map. Next up is Christmas Village. Christmas Village is also a good map. Not as good as Frozen Caves, though. It's a good map. I feel like it could be better with the flow and free-for-all, but, Team Deathmatch, I feel like this is more of a Team Deathmatch sort of map anyway. as long as you aren't getting yourself, you know, spawn jumped, really. You know, like when you're in like the enemy spawn and they start spawning on top of you and everything like that. That's the only sort of thing I could think of. But yeah, that's just my opinion on Christmas Village. It's a pretty fair map. It's a decent infected map too, assuming no one cheats on it. But yeah. Next up, we got Outpost, and I'm gonna put this in meh, top of meh. It's a great map for infected, but for team deathmatch and free for all, it's sort of like, it's almost like Strike almost. Like it's dark. It's not. I don't think it's as big as Strike, especially since there's lights on this map, so it's not nearly as dark as Strike. But at the same time, it flows really weird. I mean, I don't think the spawns in free for all are that bad, but there's just many ways to sort of, you know, get flanked and shot in the back and all that. And that's not really necessarily a bad thing, but I don't know. In my opinion, the spawns are sort of weird, even though they're not that bad sometimes. And then the flow, too. But that's just my opinion on it. I need to stop scrolling down because everything's already here. Alright, next up we got Ancient City. Ancient City is a decent map. It's a decent map. Like in free for all, I don't really like it much in free for all. I know in team deathmatch it's pretty decent. Hence why I put in decent. But free for all, it's all over the place. I mean, the spawns are kind of, the spawns work when they want to, basically. And the flow isn't too bad, but it could flow so much better, like all the other maps and everything. Next up is Shipment, and you would think I'd put this in the trash, but I'm actually going to put it in the S tier, goated. Or maybe even the A tier, I don't know. It's between A tier and S tier, but I'm going to put it under Paintball Arena. Shipyard, there's always people to shoot at on Shipyard, which is why it's such a good map. It's a great free-for-all map, and you can only play this in free-for-all, though. Which is a pity, because I'd love to play it in Team Deathmatch. But, for a free-for-all map, it actually plays pretty good. Assuming you know where the spawns are, and you can avoid getting spawn killed and everything like that, you can actually, well, not really control the pace of the match, but sort of like, you know, go in, get some kills, because there's always people to shoot at, you know? So as long as you're not getting shot in the back or like outflanked, outmaneuvered or anything like that, it's a great map. Not as good as Paintball Arena in my opinion, because Paintball Arena flows better, but Shipyard plays really nice. Alright, we got Kingdom, and then we gotta talk about the other 5. We gotta talk about the next 5 maps after that. Kingdom's, I'm gonna put Kingdom in meh. I have not played it enough to form a consistent opinion on it. I'll at least put it above like Outpost or something like that. It plays, last time I played it, played sort of, like there's just, I must have spent like a long ass time just trying to find people to shoot at. I think the flow is actually pretty bad, depending on where you are on the map. Because you get, it's like, it alternates between finding someone instantly and then, like, spending the next 30 seconds trying to find someone to shoot at. It's terrible. It's not trash, but it could be way better. Could have been way better. But that's just my 2 cents on Kingdom. It's not a bad map, I just think it could be better, you know what I mean? But in any case, let's talk about the next 3 maps here. We got Factory, Cyber Factory, and Santa's Workshop. Virtually all 3 of these maps are the same, but there are some differences. Factory is more open. Santa's Workshop is a little more cluttered with, you know, shelves and stuff. And Cyber Factory is basically Santa's Workshop, but you've got more areas to explore. So let's rank these accordingly, shall we? I think all 3 of these maps are decent. They're decent maps, or you know what? They might actually all be good maps. Now that I think about it, they flow pretty well. In my honest opinion, they flow pretty well. Free for all, maybe not so much, but like I know I sound like a broken record for this, but it's true. I mean, free for all's got weird flow because it's like 1 on like 9 people, So everyone's spawning all over the place. Everyone's shooting at each other. I at least think that these 3 maps flow pretty good for the most part. Speaking of maps we're gonna rank at the same time, let's talk about the gardens. Now, Summer Garden and Winter Garden are the exact same map. It's just one's based off summer and one's based off winter. And guess what? They're both going in meh above Outpost. Now, I need to take the time to explain why. The flow on both these maps suck. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. They're pretty bad. Why are they bad? Well, look at it this way. You got the bottom part where you'll be doing most of your running around, and then you got the top part where everyone's gonna be sniping each other. It makes the flow really inconsistent. I mean, I know you could always like stick to low ground, climb the ladders, and get back on high ground, but if you're on the wrong side and someone's on your side of the map with a weapon that outranges you, you're gonna get absolutely murked. Know what I mean? So that's sort of why I put these in meh. They're not trash, but the flow for these maps is what makes them not really that good in my opinion. It's one or the other. And with both of those things happening at the same time, you running on the bottom and people on the top, that just makes things a little more strenuous than they really need to be. So next up is Little Town. It's a great map. Not as good as Warehouse, but it's a great map. It plays really well. Plays great in Team Deathmatch. It even plays good in free-for-all, provided the spawns aren't evil, which most of the time they are on Little Town, but when they're not, you can actually get away with a lot on this map. It flows really good, plays really good. So that's my opinion on Little Town. Little Town in A class. Next up, we got Retro Mall. I'm putting this in meh straight away. Maybe under Outpost. All right. Retro Mall. Oh boy, where do I even begin? It's a big ass map. Where the main area is ginormous. Like, when you go to those malls and there's like this big area, like basically that. This is essentially what I'm talking about here. It's easy to get outranged. The flow's all over the place. There's never a consistent flow with this map. There are some close quarters areas like the pizzeria area and the movie theater, but most of the time people are going to be on the outside in the main area. So yeah, I never really had that much fun playing Retro Mall in my opinion. Next up we got Water Park. I think it's a decent map. It flows kind of funky, but at least the spawns aren't broken. But what's keeping it from being a good map is the fact that it's kind of big, and the flow's all over the place too, but at least the spawns are good. I mean, the spawns in Retro Mall are good too. I mean, I might actually move this to the bottom of decent at the very least, just because the spawns are not as grotesque as like Summer Garden and some of the other maps and stuff. But Water Park plays good if the flow is good. When the flow is bad, it takes forever to find somebody. It's like Strike almost, but at least you can find people on Strike. But that's before I mentioned Strike is dark as hell. It's easy to get camped out. So, it's my opinion. Alright, next up, Pirate Cove. Straight into the trash. This map sucks. I don't think you need me to explain, but in case you don't know the reasoning why I put this thing in trash, let me explain. You have 3 areas. You got the cave with the minecart, you got the beach, and you got the ship, okay? Most of the fighting is going to be happening on the beach, and this is a problem because the beach is so open and the spawns are so terrible on this map that like the flow is just like the flow is crazy. I mean, there probably is no flow because I mean, by the time you get into a gunfight, you're probably in the next gunfight already, or either that or you're getting shot in the back or anything like that. That's exactly the problem with this map. That's why I really don't appreciate this map that much. Oh god, yawning. Man. Alright. But yeah, that's just my opinion on Pirate Cove. It's a good map for Infected, but literally anything else, it sucks. The flow is just not there, Chief. I can't see it. Secret Bunker's also going into the trash. It's another map with garbage flow, questionable spawns, and there's this one hallway where it's basically a 50-50. Like, say, like, let me put this into retrospect. Say, like, you're about to turn into the hallway, right? And someone's about to come to you from your left, and you turn right. You're getting shot in the back. Okay, so it's like a 50-50 there. The flow is all over the place. The spawns are all over the place. I mean, the spawns are safe for the most part, but like there are times where, you know, you'll be rushing around, and then someone will spawn right on top of you, and then they'll take advantage of their iframes and take you out. You know what I mean? Alright, next up, we got High Noon. It's a great map. No questions asked. It's a great map. I love the way this flows. The spawns are really good. I have a lot of good games on High Noon, honestly. You could do a lot. You could flank, you could snipe, you could rush. You could do a lot of things with High Noon. It's a great map. Next up, we got Jungle. Jungle is actually not that bad. I'd say I put it at the bottom of great, honestly. It's not that bad of a map. It flows pretty good, even in free-for-all. The spawns are great, for the most part. There are times in Infected where people do the most and, like, you know, go around, but if they're like, if an Infected knows that same technique to get around there, then it's not a problem, you know what I mean? But Jungle's another map with decent flow. I mean, you can get outranged on one side of the map, but you could just you know, rush to the other side to get away from them or whatever. But that's just my opinion on Jungle. All right, next up, High Noon Classic. I'm gonna put this above Shipyard as a GOAT map. I miss Classic High Noon. I think it plays better than Neo High Noon, to be honest with you. But Neo High Noon's still a good map. But Classic High Noon, you could do everything you could on Neo High Noon, but because of the layout, I think the layout's better. I think the layout complements the flow that this map had, basically. But that's just my opinion. Not sure if that's nostalgia talking, but I've played both these maps. I'd say Classic plays better, but I like Neo High Noon too, so it's not even that big of an issue. Bank. I'm gonna put this in good. Top of good. Bank plays weirdly. I mean, there's flow, and then there's also no flow too. I mean, it's like, it's a weird map. It bees what it wants to be. At least the spawns are not terrible though, so that's why it's good. The spawns are decent, but the flow is it's on and off with the flow. It basically happens whenever it wants to on this map. All right, next up, Easter Island. We're putting this in at the top of decent. It's pretty obnoxious for free-for-all because of the snipers, but it's not that bad altogether. It's a pretty good map. You can choose to snipe from across the spawns, the trees and everything. You could choose to go into the house in the choke point. You choose to go on top of the house, pick people off from there. So it's not that bad. Neo Summer Garden. Neo Summer Garden's actually not that bad. I'm actually gonna put it in good, under Frozen Caves. Unlike old Summer Garden, you can't really take advantage of picking people up off from on the ground from up above. If you're on high ground, you have to fight people on high ground. Like, that's basically what most of your gunfights happen anyways, so it's not even that big of an issue. But I feel like Summer Garden flows better than the original. It also plays well. I mean, you could rush and snipe. I mean, if you're sick and tired of getting sniped from across the map, you could literally just flank them from another area. So that makes up for its weird flow. All right, we're into our last 4 maps here. The first one we got is Mansion, which I'm also gonna say I'm gonna put it above the factories. Actually, above Christmas Village. Actually, above the gardens. There we go. Much better. Mansion's pretty good. The spawns kind of suck in free-for-all. The spawns in general on Mansion are kind of up and down, but at least the map flows pretty good. Provided you're not in anyone's spawn where, like, they can just spawn on top of you, shoot you down. and you don't even realize that they're there. Like, if you know how to play this map, it's actually really easy to get used to. Next up, we got Sandstorm. And I'm putting this at the top of Great, above Neo High Noon. I feel like Sandstorm... Oh my gosh. Can you... There you go. Thank you. Good God. This control's so weird. Anyways, Sandstorm is another great map. I really like how this map plays. You could choose to snipe, or you could choose to do what everyone else likes to do, and that's run around and find people. But you don't take ages to find people just because of how this map is made. The layout of this map allows you to easily find somebody to shoot at. So basically, Shipyard, but less chaotic. I'm not gonna put it in goated though. I feel like the Shipyard being chaotic is what adds to the charm of Shipyard in general, which is something that Sandstorm doesn't really have, to be honest. But that's just me. That's just how I feel. All right, now last two maps we got Ghost Train, which I'm gonna actually leave in unranked because I have not once played this map. So if anyone's actually played this map, feel free to let me know. I tried to play this map earlier, but my game soft locked, so yeah, it's pretty much off limits for me. Next up, we got Orbit, and I'm going to throw Orbit in the Great tier. I think it's a great map. I don't think it's as good as Warehouse and High Noon, but it's a great map. Actually, let me put it under Little Town. It's better than Jungle, but not better than Little Town. Yeah, this map's sort of like some of the other maps. I mean, you could do whatever you want on this. You can do whatever you want on this map. I mean, most people like to snipe, but you can take on snipers. The spawns aren't that terrible. So you should be able to put up a decent score, provided you're not getting shot in the back or anything like that. And well, with that wrapped up, that's pretty much my tier list for every single map in Pixel Strike 3D. Now, if you want to make your own sort of tier list involving this, then I'll leave a link in the description so you can make your own tier list. Feel free to let me know what you think about my choices and my opinions. Now, it's okay to agree or disagree. That's what we're here for. That's why, you know, tier lists are always a subjective thing, because people have differing opinions and everything. So feel free to let me know. And again, I'm going to leave this in the description anyway, so you guys can make your own tier lists and everything like that. But anyways, guys, that'll be it for today's video. If you liked the commentary, be sure to drop a like if you're new to the channel. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I'm working on something very special, so uploads will slow down a little bit. But yeah, other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this little tier list video. Thank you so much for watching. It's Rusher. I'm out. Peace.